we are getting into game number 1. It's a brand new best of 3, and it's the semifinals for this week's ESL North America Cup. This is actually, out of 4 players remaining in the tournament, the last and only actual North American. So ladies and gentlemen, cheer for him hard. He just defeated Youth Thermal. He's on a bit of a hot streak today. To the bottom left, we have the Red Terran,
Future.
To the top right, raise your edges, Blue Protoss,
PtitDrogo.
and I told you guys I would add some text updates here for Future's name since you all get crazy over this, so give me just 1 second. Future. You know what? We're gonna super simplify this. I oftentimes will just like paste this over next to it. Okay. That black background really helps. Okay, it's not perfect, but hopefully that gets the job done for you guys. Anyways, social, special, future, budget special, whatever you want to refer to him as. He is our Grand American and our last actual NA player for today. So I'm actually genuinely rooting for him here. But whether he actually wins the game or not, that's really going to be up to him. Let's talk about the factors going into this though, right? Drogo on one hand is playing against time. It's super late in Europe. In fact, Google, what time is it in France right now? 2:37 a.m. Now I know it's gamer hours, and I know Drogo doesn't really care about what hour this is, but it's worth noting. It's late. On top of this, there was the European Cup earlier. He's probably all StarCraft out and tired today. And he's playing cross server to America, where of course it's the East Coast server, which creates a little bit of a problem for latency, but nothing like insane and unplayable. So to be clear, going into this, Drogo has a couple of big disadvantages going for him before the game has even started. Future hopefully will take full advantage of this. Oh, I need to correct chat a little bit here. Guildland responds to the question from Karua, who is casting? Who's this caster? And he says Rifkin. But I believe you all know that I am a field reporter and not a caster. Casters are something you put on the bottom of your chair to roll around the room. Thank you very much. But
this just in.
It's a proxy starport out of Future, and it's going to be for a medevac. He's mostly, well, actually, he could swap this out and do Lib or Banshee, but it's most likely a Hellion elevator. You take this up to the high ground on a map like Emerald Empire, or excuse me, Eternal Empire, and you do have little spots here where you can drop them off. And if these Hellions get into the base uncontested, oh, these are going to do more damage than the Liberator ever would in this scenario. Drogo also playing, I'm going to say a little greedy in terms of like this. He's not scouted much, so he doesn't really know what's happening. And because of this, he has a very scarce amount of units on the field as he's looking to probably throw down this third base. Oh dear. So that third base is 400 minerals that will not be used for warp ins. And this probe, oh, he's not going to see the medevac. He's going to set up a pylon here, which ironically is supposed to catch medevacs. Now he sees the medevac, but it's already almost at the base. He's going to pull the stalkers back immediately. But to be clear, this is not going to be easy to deal with. Oh, actually, that little bumble just now, little fumble. Get my words right. Looks like I haven't taken enough of my inhaler. Oh, it's like attempting a fake out. That was so cool. But with the medevac dead, this is committed. And these Hellions aren't going to get that many probe kills most likely. If these trade out even, that'd be good, but then they have to pick up the slack for the medevac too. So 5, 6 even's not bad, but it's also not great. If the medevac didn't die, this would be totally fine. The reason this really backfires on Future though is because, of course, Drogo has that third base on the way. So he invested this huge chunk of money that he didn't have to cancel. He didn't have to feel pressured about. He's got everything he needs to deal with this Liberator even. So a little bit regrettable. Well, Future went for a really cool move of an opening, and it does work. I've actually cast so many games of that working, that very specific blitz. But it didn't work out here. Also, I forgot to start the next Stream Raider battle. I'm so sorry, guys. I just did that. Well, you've seen it in chat probably 2 minutes ago. Clem versus partying was way more hype. Hey guys, why are you talking about it like it's not happening? Clem and partying they have to wait to play. We are still casting Clem and partying. It just happens after these two. Also, I'm pretty stoked about Drogo in future. You don't have to be. I am. So please don't kill my hype just because you can't appreciate some good StarCraft. Thank you very much. Okay, Templar Archives. I think all roads lead to Storm when you're playing against a bio player. Yeah, between the bunker and the defensive setup, Future's in no real danger from anything that Drogo could even throw at him right now, but that's going to give both players some passive time to attack, and Future doesn't seem to have a third base in mind. If this is going to be a 2-base all-in out of Terran, these can be really powerful. We've actually been seeing a lot of Koreans and foreigners alike pulling the boys with some all-ins, but I don't know. I don't think this is a game where you have a bad start like that and then the all-in works. But my fear is he knows about the third base, so if he's not taking a third CC soon, then we know that he's intentionally not taking it at all. And if that's going to be the commitment, if that's going to be the fight, he does have a pretty good amount of units on the field. Like, let's be clear, on paper, he's got way more army supply than Drogo does right now. Bunker gets salvaged. Drogo's actually moving out with a War Prism at the same time. So this could actually really hurt Future, as he won't have units at home. They'll likely be rallied down the field. So even just a couple of Zealots could kill all the SCVs. At which point he might just be like, okay, well, I might as well pull them across the field. But the tanks are kept inside the medevacs, so they don't get sniped off by blink stalkers or something super obnoxious. And custom shells is nearly done. Plus 1 weapons is nearly done. There's a huge advantage for Future for this attack, but like I said, he's going to feel it. He's going to feel it back at home. A couple units might be able to turn around in time. A couple Marauders do turn around in time. Liberator sets up towards the main base. Big distraction. Clears out the Stalker off the watchtower. Meanwhile, Zealots do warp in. Oh, God. Sound the alarms. Pull the SCVs. Bring him to the front lines if you gotta. And he's gotta. He's gonna. It's all in territory, baby. Okay. This is going to be really tough because this hits just before area of effect damage is really good to go. I don't like the tanks put right into the Immortals. That's like serving them up on a silver platter. The force fields force everything into the meat grinder of those Archons. But like I said, when the SCVs get here, there are a lot of like free body HP units. You essentially extend the life of all your units by the SCVs. So yeah, that was a really crap fight, but he's still got a huge amount of reinforcements to these workers. And if these are on the front line soaking the shots, if these are on the front line taking the hit from the Zealots, if their whole positioning creating a ghetto wall, preventing the Zealots from getting on top of the Marauders, these things are going to shred. Remember, this Widow Mine's covering that tank, so he can't really flank this as he's done in previous games. However, a lot of the SCVs are already cleared out. The Zealots, however, are gone. The Archons pop off. We are in base trade territory. However, Social, aka Future, can always lift up. Drogo cannot. Golden rule. Oh, Artosis Pylon denies blink, denies another immortal. Oof. Did he recall the units? He recalled the units to the third, the madman. Oh, the tank doesn't have high ground there. Oh, what a worthless tank. Oh, that feels terrible. Okay, he unpowers everything in the main, satisfied with his damage, runs down to the natural. Time's ticking, clock's ticking, he knows it. Command centers have been lifted. They're flying across the field. Immortals are on the way. He's not repowering that. He unpowers. Oh, he's trying to unpower what little gateways there are. It's also going to deny the shield batteries here pretty hardcore. Oh my God, Future's making a lot of really good decisions right now. 57 probes are in play. Drogo, you might as well pull those into the fight too. Counter the boys with boys. Actually, you know what? These probes wouldn't be bad against the Marauders at all, but Drogo's just long distance mining. What is going on here with Drogo? What is Drogo looking at right now? He's still mining. He's managed to get a couple things back up. Pylon in the main base repowered. That's an immortal. That's going to be huge, but it's going to get denied again as the drops coming here to finish it off. The key thing for shutting Drogo down right now, Drogo can have all these probes. He's got 1,400 minerals floating right now, and it doesn't matter because he can't actually build anything with that money. So he's got to either establish more gateways elsewhere or get this on lockdown. Either way, Future is not out of this game yet. 40 army supply to 40 army supply. Drogo's lost so many probes at this point, he might not even be able to pull the boys, so to speak. Oh my god, back to the high ground. Stuck in here. The Archon drop on the high ground is huge. Trying to kite these zealots all day, but can't deal with that Immortal. He certainly can't deal with that Archon giving fire. Meanwhile, back at home, this command centers have got a lot of energy. Okay, I wish he would have re-established bases and mining while this was going on. I think Drogo's got this now. Drogo was under a lot of pressure, but now that he's had some time to breathe here, he's managed to recover what little he needed to. Future built a single SCV. Oh no, it's just like out in the front line still, I guess. Last chance at a blitz. He tries to kite these units away. This is the best possible way Future could be handling this fight, but it's 5 Marauders and 6 Marines. It's a memes and a dream in this case. It's really getting down to the wire, guys. We're going full, no overlay. Well, okay, unfortunately you have that overlay still, but full cinematic view. Actually, I could make this cinematic straight up. Let's bring everything back though. Whoops. I can't believe how much kiting he's doing, but he's finally run out of steam. GG. Drogo takes game number 1. Of course his name would move on the overlay. Why wouldn't it? Okay. Yeah. With that sick fix, we hop into game number 2. I see a lot of you enjoyed game 1, and I did too. That was some crazy desperation out of this guy. He almost made it look doable, but he's down 1 in the series. To the top right, the Red Terran going by social so he can distance, but it is
Future.
And down here to the bottom left, we have the blue Protoss up 1-0. The invading French player to the Americas Open, it's
PtitDrogo.
I love these checking for the proxies. Future, well, I don't think down 1 in the series is likely to do proxies. He's totally a Terran player who does them just in general. So Drogo making sure not to slip up with this essentially 1 set. I don't think it's going to be an easy 2-0 if Drogo can pull it off at all. It's going to probably be dependent on Future messing up. I say this not just with blind conviction, but with real sincerity. I see Future being able to bring this back, but he is going to have to play well. And I just want to really highlight that because the last half of that game, it is unquestionable Future played really well. His micro was on point. His decision making was quick and precise. His opening really screwed up though. The Hellions didn't get anything done. The commitment with the medevac was awkward. Well, they killed 6 probes. But my point is, I think Future had a couple things go wrong that just fed into defeat. And no matter how well he played that out, it was just a player like Drogo is too hard to play against in that situation. A lesser player maybe doesn't capitalize on their advantage. Drogo definitely did. You're the man. Thanks for the quality games as always. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It sounds so dumb, and the more I say it, the more like insincere it sounds. But I gotta tell you guys, I have had a really hard transition to focusing on NA content because our viewership, like anytime we would cast stuff at this hour, viewers were like less than 1,000 on average. So this commitment for the last month to this time zone is really starting to pay off. So when I say it, I really mean it. Thank you for tuning in. And a special shout out to all the lurkers who I know are here but not talking. You guys are cool too. Oh, that was slick. This sucks because the command center is so close to finishing, but he keeps the STV alive hiding into the bunker. I like that a lot. Sends a new one in, tries to bait the stalker back. That Marine doesn't have a lot of damage, but has got the reach, so the stalker can't really poke around here for too long. Oh, nice kill on the probe. That's deuces, baby. 3 dead total. This Reaper's done pretty well for itself in this game. Back to the top right. Natural base did finish up. Orbital's finishing now. And we get to wait and see whether it's bio again. I hope it is. I really like bio. I really like bio with Future a lot. I don't want to see mech out of him. I think Drogo's a really good player and he knows how to play around mech. So hoping, fingers crossed, sticking to his guns. Either way, it's a Widowmine drop opening. And this is fine. This is great. Widowmines can actually maybe do a lot of damage if there's no Phoenix to pick him up. Oh, this is a big scout with a... So the Hellion gets over here and sees the spot council, take it away. You do Resonating Glaives for Zerg, you do Blink for Terran. It's not likely that he's worried about this being an all-in, though, as Blink is a very good universal tool. But if he saw a bunch of Chrono Boosts going into this while the Hellion was around, he might be a little bit more worried. So Future's going to play probably very cautiously around the idea that Blink will be done, but he won't have to worry about it here for a bit of time still. Fucking Wardy, what's up, dude? Anyone else's Twitch bugged? It says Base Trade TV actually has viewers for once. You know what, man? Thank you. Thank you, Wardy. All right, we're looking for those drops to do some damage. Keep in mind for Future, this high ground is an advantage that, oh, Drogo might not be thinking about. I really like that Widowmine on the high ground actually a lot. Oh, he's really trying not to waste the shot. The observer's out, so take your shot. Shoot your shot. Oh my god, that was so close. Are you kidding me? Yeah, if Drogo was streaming right now, he just fucking shit his pants on stream. That was so close to getting such a game-ending kill, but Drogo at the last second pulled away. Future's doing what he can to micro these Widowmines. I like the effort, I like the hustle, but oh, he's gonna lose the medevac again. Oh my god, it's so low. Look, the Widowmine can die, but the medevac needs to go out alive. Okay, so ouch. Really regrettable losing the medevac like that, but we should note there's been a lot of production while this goes on, and Future might stick to his guts. Oh, I hope not. He might stick to his guns and go with another 2-base all-in, but this time more on purpose. He's also building a ritual upgrade circle around the engineering bay with his depots. This is particularly weird to see because you're so often used to these just making up a wall, but this leads into my thoughts that it's going to maybe be an all-in because he's not worried about playing defensive or walling off a third. He's just building the depots close to home to keep them safer, question mark. Oh, this Stalker Blink to the main base is going to be a pain in the ass. Marauders can deal with this, but the worst thing for Future right now would be turning around. Time is on his side, and yes, this needs to be dealt with, but no, he shouldn't give up the push. And in fact, he's made that assessment too. So a couple Marauders, couple medevacs, these Stalkers are going to be dealt with. Meanwhile, here comes the Grand Slam. The big kahunas coming in here with that big stim. Goes straight for the Immortal in the back line. I think the Stalkers are recalled back home, but they're only recalled into death. Less than half the army supply against the fully stemmed army. Widowmines are sent down. Goodbye, Stalker. Goodbye, Zealot.
Go, go, go! GG!
Future ties the series 1-1. Wardy gifted a sub out to Darluke. Now, Darluke 001, if you're listening, I need you to understand how much you should cherish this gifted sub. Wardy likes to take money. Wardy doesn't like to give money. Wardy uses his own Twitch Prime on himself and not on his friends. So for Wardy to go out of his way to spend $5, $5 whole dollars on my channel says a lot. You getting this sub should be something you cherish for the next 30 months because this stingy bitch won't give out any more, that's for sure. Okay, we're hopping into game number 3. The scores are tied 1-1, and while this is asked in a bit of a poor taste way, I will answer in a very positive manner. Is there anywhere else I could watch this? Well, don't worry. Yes, there is. I believe Maynard and Pig are casting over on Pig's channel. You've got Jim Rising probably casting now that he's out. I know that. Oh, Maynard's actually casting his channel too. Well, there you go. There's a lot of other people covering this. And if you ever need to find out what games are being on, let me just do a little not sponsored PSA to the website tl.net. Team Liquid's the main hub for StarCraft, and you don't need to post on this site. You don't need to take part in this site. All you need to know is in the top right, when there's big events going on, there's a sidebar. And if you click on any of those names, it takes you to their stream. The more you know. Although I think the majority of people here know this. I think it's fair to get everyone caught up. But man, am I stoked for this one. Bottom left, look, Terran, it's Future. Bottom, I got to change the name on the overlay. Bottom right, of course this happens. Bottom right, it's Drogo. But man, I love this so much for many reasons. But most of all, I have fallen in love with this map. Roddy has shown me the light. I think this is such a sick map with such cool potential. And this map, okay, well, he's gonna proxy, but this map creates some really cool dynamics. There's minerals blocking a very safe base in the back. This whole bottom section is walled off by gold mineral patches and normal mineral patches. It's a really cool layout, and I've cast quite a few games now where we've had this kind of yin-yang effect with thermal and Rainer. We've had split maps as well. There's just been a really cool map dynamic to it, but this is the first time I get to see a proxy on it, so let's see how this shapes up on this map. One of the really cool things though about this is, let's say hypothetically Drogo gets the upper hand here and he contains Future into the base, and he takes his natural and his third, and he just gets ahead out on the map. Future's actually not in so much trouble in that situation on this map, because while I can't reach out to take a third over here or over here, there's that back base I was talking about, and as Terran you can lift the command center and put it over there no problem without having to give away what you've done by mining the mineral patches out. There's also dangers to the gold bases because you can be attacked on the other side, or the other side from Stalkers and Marines. And we do see Drogo actually rushing out this Nexus. Is this a fake out though? No, this is for real. I was like, this is the sickest fake out. If you ever want to convince somebody there's not a proxy in play, you show them a freaking gold base taking this quick. But a Stargate finishes up, and that Oracle is not going to be that big of a threat to one of the bases, but the main base is going to be pretty empty initially. Now we've had Future pushing out Widow Mines, and if he gets Widow Mines out, then the Oracle is not going to be that big of a threat. But knowing that there's a gold base in play from Drogo presents some interesting tactics. On one hand, he could rush out something to prevent him from mining by sitting on the other side of the minerals. On the other, he can play greedy himself, go for a faster third, or if he wants to do another 2-base all-in, just gear up for it and don't change your plans at all, because you don't have to. Morty says, I will not be baited. Well, excuse me for trying to take advantage of all your Raid Shadow Legends money, okay? I know you got that dosh. This is a little frustrating because, like I said, there's a pretty stark lack of anti-air. It's actually a Cyclone coming out too. I saw that tech lab and didn't even think about it. That was just gonna be for stim, but there's an Adept being annoying. It takes 3 Marines to kill an Adept, so as you can see, 3 aren't gonna handle 2 very well. Although they stripped the shields off the 1, that's pretty good. Lost mining time for the mules is pretty devastating. Losing 5 workers sucks. But going back to it, if Future was planning to go for a 2-base all-in, then he doesn't actually need a huge SCV count or a massive macro play. So whether that was his plan all along, or maybe it's going to become his plan, I don't think he suffers from this too badly. Well, Drogo, on the other hand, of course, his income's going to be wonky all over the place because gold mineral patches are an interesting dynamic. They require less workers to get the same base saturation. It's a little confusing because I think I've talked to a lot of people, and I myself was under this misconception too, where gold minerals, like, oh, you just mine faster. And yeah, it's true, but a fully saturated gold base is pretty much the same as a fully saturated normal base. You just need less workers to make it happen. So Drogo's on this kind of adrenaline boost from this gold base. It is going to wear off in time, but for now, he's going to have a lot of money to burn, and putting up a natural base, getting an army up, this is not going to be a problem for him like it normally might be. The best part of stopping by a base trade TV stream, getting to leave. Good night, everybody. Okay, Wardy. You know what? I said we weren't going to do joke bans anymore, but I'm really reconsidering right now. I know you're long gone. Have a good night, man. Stupid stream delay. Stupid Flanders. Oh, that Cyclone barely lives. 1 HP is pretty high. Oh, I spoke too soon. It dies. Caster curse. But the tank set up, and these Stalkers can't really continue their assault. We do have a pickup for that drop going in. Drogo, by the way, has... Oh, this patch here. I'm like, how did he get this probe through the back? He's presented a weakness that I think Future is going to try and take advantage of. First off, you'll see this pylon drop to deal with this. They can sit on the other side of the mineral lines and ideally harass the probes, but I think if he sees this pylon, he has to know the door was open. So yeah, I love what he did there with the Marine. Look at that. So good. Sorry, I'm a little speechless because that was such a sick maneuver. The one Marine went forward because he knows Blink Stalkers are in play. If he wanted to pick up with the medevac and get out there alive, he couldn't do it after. He had to react preemptively. So that was really good. Sacrifices the Marine, gets 7 and a medevac out. Now, of course, this isn't a full commitment of SCVs pulled. This is actually a smaller amount just to repair the tanks and maybe put up a bunker or two. But this is a really open base location. Stalkers could try and come from behind here and flank some of the army, but the Marines are just so numerous at this point. They lack stim, and that really sucks. Wait a minute. He hasn't even started stim yet. Oh boy. Okay, so not going to be stim, which means no way to really fight the Stalkers if he rallies out through the map. However, at the same time, Drogo right now doesn't really have enough to push into this tank count. Not easily. He does go for the blink. Catches the tanks, positioning himself so they were in siege. Siege up now. Might just barely hold on. Who that is with that host? Thank you very much. 6th leaf clover. Wait, I thought it went to 4. There's more than 4? Thank you very much for the raid. The Stalkers clean a lot of this up though through the middle of the map. Future unfortunately has been shot in the foot, both by himself and Drogo's own weapons for the other one. We will go ahead and creep this dear generous raider person and make new friends after the game's done. But for those who are just tuning in, I don't know how familiar you are or are not with StarCraft, but I can tell you this much. We are in a pretty intense Europe versus North America situation. It's the semifinals, and our North American player may have just given most of this game away. Now, he's got a really good defensive setup, and if Stalkers come from the front, no chance to survive. Tanks are well positioned in the back. Stalkers can't blink in to pick them off very easily. But I think just now, Future's having that epiphany of realization, like, oh, right, I have a backside I got to watch out for. That gold base, by the way, starting to mine out now. That's that adrenaline rush I was talking about before. Drogo playing a lot more conservatively than I expected. This gives some very precious time for Future to get stim finished up, for example. The reason a lot of these fights were going poorly was because he didn't have stim. Bio, not so good without stim. Bio with stim, fantastic. Shield batteries. He's really gonna, oh, okay, he's gonna pull the voice. So it is all in. It is all in. Texas Hold'em, Texas Fold'em. Let's see how this goes. The tank's gonna have to leapfrog in here. So what's really unfriendly for Future is he doesn't have time on his side. These SCVs are still gonna be good even when there's just one Colossus in play, but when that Colossus is out, it's gonna melt through the SCVs, and that wall of flesh that they provide is not gonna last very long. Because on top of that, you're gonna have Zealots into this too. But make it or break it. If Drogo's army falls, Future will probably push through with a huge advantage. But let's be clear. Drogo's the one who's got the advantage. He's up like 30 army supply. A lot of these SCVs, even if you count them as army units, still not a great situation. Drogo chooses to back away from this. I think that's a really smart call. Future's not even lifting the command center, so you know this is do or die. There's no recovery game playing Floaterio around the map. Do or die. Force fields on the ramp are pretty solid. Widowmine set up here. They don't get to drag. They do drag on top of the. Oh, that was so sick. Now there's basically a mini EMP. No shields here for these Zealots. That front line of tankiness now taken away from Drogo, but I still stand by the fact that I think the Colossus are too much. The Caloose! The Caloose! Yeah, tanks are going down. Colossus might fall, but there's not enough left to fight what's remaining. Although the small amount of bio is looking a lot more volatile than I thought it was. Good game. Good. Well played. Good luck is called. Ladies and gentlemen, Drogo takes the series 2-1. And he's going to go through to the finals.